Okay, guys. Paul here from PA Brew News. We have a beer here. I was going to go live, but my phone is too screwed up and it's not letting me do anything. But magically, it's letting me do this. I have another bottle of this just in case this screws up. Alright. So, what we have right now is a TRAQUIAR House Ale from Innerleith, PABrewNews, Scotland. God, I can't talk right now. Innerleithen. Let me get my freaking words right. It is a wee heavy from Innerleithen, PABrewNews, Scotland. Did I actually talk right then? I think I did. They're from the TRAQUIAR Ale. TRAQUIAR House Ales, an ale fermented in oak barrels. This is a wee heavy, 7.2% alcohol by volume. Now I picked this up at the same place that because it now carries it, is the same place that I did that big beer haul, because I was like, let me go back, especially those what was it, Saint Fouillons. I wanted to get whatever they had, so I bought 2 more of those. So now I have 3 of those Tripels sitting now, ready to enjoy at a later date. Because I kind of want to do a Tripel head off, like a Tripel. Let's check it out. Maybe someone can help me drink some of them afterwards, or let's be honest, I'll drink them all myself. But if I'm pulling out like Saint Bernardus Rochefort 8, which I think is technically a Tripel, but I'm not sure. But you got Maretsus, you got the La Follette, you got the Westmalls. They're all 9+ in that area. So drinking like 6 of them in a shot, I'm gonna need someone, and plus having an extra person there will be pretty good anyway to have a second opinion on some of the brews. But this one I haven't had in a long time, much like the Jacobite Ale, so I'm very happy to find this one. And another thing is, and I've said this before in some of the live chats and stuff, there is a case of this in the mountains, about 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 25 minutes away from my house, 20 minutes, a case of it that I know is old, that has been sitting there for a long time. And it's the same place that I got the Ale Mary from and stuff, the stuff that's been sitting there for a long time. So if I am just enthralled by this beer, which I do believe I will be, from my memory, I'm going to definitely need to go up there and buy that case of aged beer, because it's a wee heavy. It's going to get better anyway with age. So anyway, enough flapping of that doos. I'm going to have my, oh, by the way, I have some of this too. I might as well just do this or the same thing. Excalibur from the Cottswalds, a classic English cheese. And I know it's basically some kind of, it's a cheese, and I believe there's some hydrated minced onions and freeze-dried chives added into the cheese. So there we go. Pasteurized cow's milk cheese from Gloucestershire, UK, from the Cotswolds. So I'm going to probably try that too. And this was $6.60, and they could have added the 6 cents on there to make it evil, and I would have been happy paying it. So this is the same place that the guys did tell me also that, hey, if you really want excuse me, that if you really want some of these in cases, he's going to get like a case price as well, because he gets a lot of one-offs. So like the Yearbox, and I told him, just actually in Calaveras, just buy the cases, get a case price, because I'm going to pick some up. Alright, listen to the Howling soundtrack if you were wondering. Again, I was going to do this live, kind of screwed everything up. Man, I need to go to bed too. I got work tonight. So anyway, cheers. Weird. It's almost like a smoky clove. Burnt toffee, brown bread, smoky clove kind of tonality in there too. Almost like a stewed fruit. Caramelized sugars from like a stewed fruit kind of. Almost like a cakey, like fruit cake kind of tonality in there. Very earthy, little almost smokiness. Yeah, like a fig date kind of stewed fruit kind of vibe. Smells very rich and savory. Cheers. It's a bit thin. It's a bit thin. Medium side of a medium body, tapered down to the lower side of a medium body by the end of it. Mineralistic, copper coin tones, a little earthiness in there too. It's not as savory as the nose implies, unfortunately. Right at the forefront, you get some of those subtle stewed fruits, burnt caramel, toffee, a little bit of that kind of smokiness as I talked about too. Then it translates down pretty nicely to more of that kind of brown bread tonalities. You still keep a little bit of that mineralistic smoky tone throughout, a little bit of it. Copper coin kind of kicks up a little bit, mineralities. Dry in the background, dry in the back end. No hint of that 7.6%. Very easy drinking beer. Yeah, as my brain was telling me before, only for memory's sake, I do prefer the Jacobite Ale to this one. It still would be something that I would like to see what an aged version of this would actually taste like. Now it says best BBE, I'm going to say it's best before whatever, May 29th. May 29, 2029, or this May 29. And then underneath it is L914812.37. You know what I mean? Like, best before bottle. But see, the thing is, May 29th isn't really. I'm just a May is the year, but 29 is that 2029 or May 29th? I don't know. Let me throw this in here. Doodly doodly doo. There's no back and forth. There's no conversation. This isn't a live one like I was going to do. So we'll just chuck it in. We'll give you a read too. TRAQUIAR House Ale is a traditional Scottish ale or wee heavy produced at the tiny TRAQUIAR House Brewery Co. located in the oldest inhabited house in Scotland. Brewed in 1738 copper kettle and fermented in oak vessels, this rich, complex, and deep with firm but elegant flavors brewed the TRAQUIAR House Ale Lethen, Peeblesshire, Scotland, and it's good. It's a good beer. It is easy drinking. It's not rich and blah blah blah, all this kind of crap they say on the label. I wish it was, but it's not. But for a simplistic ale, now this just tastes like a Scotch ale to me. It doesn't taste like a huge, robust, wee, heavy, old ale kind of, you know, savory, flavory kind of a deal. But for the house ale, we'll use that term, I think. Really kind of defines this beer. Their house ale. This is what they have. This is what normal people at a normal time would come in and drink. You know, that kind of thing. It almost harkens me back to like thinking this is more like a provincial ale, or a what's the word? Is provincial ale, or is it a like an abbey ale? Like, excuse me. But like kind of was it Grimbergen? This is the ale that, you know, this is the Pilgrim's Ale. This is what will be drank once you come in after a long this or a long that. You'll be given one of this with your meal, kind of a vibe. And this would be good with that. There's enough robustness to the beer to have a lovely character, you know, a lovely feel to this beer. Enough ABV to warm you up, to get ready for a nice meal, to a nice bed after your meal. There's a nice robust flavor enough to complement certain foods. There is a nice ABV to tuck you down for the evening. But this isn't, to me, this isn't a standalone beer. This isn't something that you would, this is my standalone beer that I'm going to sip on the rest of the night and enjoy. You know what I mean? There's not enough character for that. This would be something, like I said, I'm going to try this to pair this with a lovely Excalibur cheese right now. Which I'm not a big fan of actual onion. Like, I don't mind the flavor of onion. It's not like big into onion itself. I should have got a serrated knife too, because I have one of those. I should actually have got that, but I didn't, so. And this knife isn't sharp because I used it a lot to do some shit, so. But unfortunately, yeah, this beer isn't exactly something that I could see stand alone. Like a standalone beer. Like excuse me. There is carbonation. I find the Jacobite ale to have a lot more character and full-on flavor compounds that would, kind of say, okay, this is a standalone beer. This isn't just a pairing beer, a dinner beer, or this or that beer. This is the one that takes you all the way to bedtime beer. This is you're having these with your meal, getting ready for bed, filling yourself up. Yeah. Yeah, it definitely chives. Whoa. This is really rich. I mean, this is rich on the onion chive. This is really heavy on the onion chive. And it really goes nice with this beer. The cheese, though, is very non-offensive, very easy, clean. I guess they wanted that because very smooth, easy, melts in your mouth. What's it say here? Double Gloucester with onions and chives pairs with this beer. Pairs with beer or Shiraz. Yeah, great choice for cheese omelets. I could see that, and actually that would be a really good cheese omelet beer because you're adding stuff already with the chives, with the onions, without actually adding that to what you're doing. Doodly do, some bacon, slap bap, sausage. You're good to go. This really does pair well with the TRAQUIAR house ale, and that's what I'm saying. This beer has enough flavor to round out what you're doing, but not to stand alone. It has a nice flavor to pair with food, to pair with the cheese. This was over. This was 0.295 of a pound, and it was $5.60. It was I'd have to assume that 1 pound, a quarter of a pound, would be 1.25 or 0.25, 250. A little over a quarter pound, $5. Now this the unit price overall is $19 a pound, and honestly, Skinny loses a lot. I'd buy the whole pound. Pretty good. Now, if you really like the chive onion thing, like this is perfect. Actually reminds me of some of the Pringles I've had. That kind of flavor, tonality. Which I haven't eaten Pringles in years. Pretty good. I have another cheese I'm going to check out. Ski Queen from Norway. It's a brown cheese. It's supposed to taste like caramel, candy, and cheese. So that sounds interesting. It's not bad. It really does pair well with this cheese. Kind of just makes everything cohesive, drops it down your palate, melts everything even better, so it moves it around your palate a little bit nicer. I have a little bit of that caramel stewed, like a little subtle fruit in there that earthy tone, copper coin tone, still reminiscing, mixing in with that kind of onion chive, that smooth, creamy cheese, blending around your palate. This is I mean, I'm really glad that I can do this kind of like weird pairing right now because, as I was saying at the beginning of the beer review, this is the house ale. This is what's going to be on tap, regardless, for someone to enjoy once they come in from the road, and they're going to be hungry. I mean, traditionally speaking, they're going to be hungry. So you're going to give them bread, and you're going to give them cheese and some meat or whatever the hell stew perhaps would be really well with this. Whatever you guys are cooking at the time, this ale is going to pair with that, and you're going to have a couple of these, and then if you're an inn, for example, you're going to have a room available. They're going to have 3 or 4 of these with their food, and they're going to go right up to bed and pass out. And that's exactly what this is for, and it's great, absolutely fantastic for that. 8 out of 10 overall for the TRAQUIAR House Ale. It's really nice, but I've had way better wee heavies. So I'm still going to give it an 8 out of 10 because it's above average. It's really nice. It's a nice beer. And again, a pairing beer. If you love drinking and while you pair foods, I mean, this is a fantastic beer for that. The cheese, pretty much the same thing. 8 out of 10. I mean, I don't eat a lot of. I mean, I do eat a lot of random cheeses, like your smoked Gouda, your Gorgonzola, your mozzarella. You know what I mean? The little pungent cheeses, baby. Your Brie, your Camembert. But I do like to check out different cheeses and stuff, especially if they're on sale. Or, I just see something that catches my eye. Like, it wasn't on sale, but it caught my eye. The Ski Queen was on sale, picked it up, and if I like the stuff, I'm going to buy more, because apparently you can freeze cheese. So I'm just going to throw my bunch of cheese in my freezer, fuck it. Plus, I'm planning on, I have a smoker, electric smoker I bought last year, or the year before. Didn't ever get a chance to put it together and do my thing. So I plan on doing that today. So I'm going to start getting some blocks of cheese, this and that, and started smoking stuff too, some meats and cheeses. So looking forward to that as well. I'm going to enjoy this, and I cooked some dinner for tonight too, because I have to go to work tonight because they're mandating me, but that's fine. So it is what it is. This has been Paul for PABrewNews. Cheers. Bye-bye. Watch that finger.